All right, Virgo. Significant situation in romantic love you're going to be dealing with. Very nice. We have the Chariot. So about alignment and moving forward in romantic love, whether you're single or attached. With the Chariot, a Cancer may be significant. Challenge, obstacle, or blockage you face in regard to the situation. We have the Three of Cups. So either reunion or soul connecting and being emotionally available with one another and coming together. Maybe the challenge, either reconciliation or, being emotionally connected, romantically more vulnerable. The Three of Cups is really about soul connecting and romantically connecting. There being emotional availability and expressing that with one another, okay? Core issue of the situation, Six of Swords. So moving past defensive or egoic energy, having clarity, moving forward. I feel like this is about reconciliation, but we'll see. Significant past, which has led to the current situation. We have the Moon, and with the Moon, a Cancer may be significant once again. The Moon, of course, insecurities, fears, doubts, someone feeling overwhelmed, not knowing the way forward, possible loneliness. Virgo, where you're at in regards to the situation, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Very nice. We have the Wheel of Fortune, wanting to move things forward, wanting to, have things move positively, having that new chapter in love, finally get off the ground and start moving. And with the Wheel of Fortune, a fixed sign may be significant. Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, or Scorpio, where your love interest is in regards to you currently and this situation. And this may be, whether you are attached or single, because I also put in when I was preparing the cards that this could be someone who's interested in you and you're unaware, or someone you're interested in or are in a current connection with, okay? Very nice. We have the Empress, okay? And with an Empress, a Taurus or a Libra may be significant, but with the Empress, where this person is at is they want this connection to grow. They feel a very deep emotional, physical, spiritual connection to you, and they feel that, there is something beautiful born from love between the two of you that has great potential, okay? And likely outcome of the situation, we have the Magician. There you are. Also, a Gemini may be significant, or a fellow Virgo. Clarified by the Sun. Very nice, Virgo. Okay. Let me just clarify this Wheel of Fortune, and then we'll get started. Oh, I also want to clarify the Moon. Nice. We have the Star, and with the Star in Aquarius may be significant. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. Good. All right, Virgo, let's begin. Significant past, which has led to the current situation. So you or your love interest. Now, if you're single, this is you, okay? With the Moon, this is about feeling overwhelmed when it comes to love and romance. Maybe feeling lonely, feeling insecure or having doubts. And when I say insecure, I don't mean that you are insecure. I mean, there may be at times insecurities that you deal with in regards to this specific situation in romantic love or in romantic love in general. If you're single, this is about feeling overwhelmed, feeling that singleness, feeling like lost and emotionally overwhelmed, having fears and doubts come to the surface of, will I find the right person? Will things stabilize in romantic love? If you are attached or you have someone in mind and you're in a romantic connection or emotional connection that you would like to, move forward in a romantic way with the moon, especially for those of you who are actually actively in a relationship, someone has been feeling, again, overwhelmed, feeling lost, insecurities, fears, and doubts coming up about whether single or attached. The Ace of Pentacles, whether or not this relationship will, or your romantic love life will, move forward in terms of having a stable, committed relationship, whether or not, for those of you who are in a relationship or a, romantic connection with the Ace of Pentacles, it's materials in this deck, but with the Ace of Pentacles and the Moon, there is either yourself or your love interest having feelings of overwhelm and insecurities and fears and doubts about whether or not the two of you can move this forward in a more committed way, whether there is going to be a real opportunity for a committed future and manifesting this further. For those of you that are single, obviously, fears and doubts and insecurities possible, like loneliness, feeling about whether or not an opportunity, a real romantic, opportunity that would lead to commitment is going to come about, okay? Which leads us to the current situation with a Chariot. As I said, a Cancer may be significant, very significant, with the Moon also coming up. But the current situation is about someone getting into alignment mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and being certain and moving forward, whether single or, or attached or connected to someone. Alternatively, for those of you who are in romantic connections, this could be pointing to your love interest energy. But essentially, this is about someone being in full alignment and certain about moving forward in romantic love. For singles, getting out there and dating. For those who are connected, whether this is your energy or your love interest energy, about being certain and aligned mentally, emotionally, spiritually, consciously, subconsciously, spiritually, and certain in moving things forward and therefore it being successful, okay? The challenge, obstacle, or blockage that the two of you face. And for singles, let me do singles first. For those of you who are single, your challenge in moving forward in an aligned way with the Three of Emotions is being emotionally vulnerable and expressive, and getting out there and meeting people and connecting with them emotionally, romantically. The Three of Cups is about sharing back and forth, emotionally and being expressive. Now, for those of you who are in romantic connections, especially for those of you who are, broken up or going through some tough times, with the Three of Emotions coming up, with Three of Cups, I should say, coming up as the challenge that you face, reconciliation very much could be the challenge, but at the heart of it, it is about emotionally connecting, like once again with your love interest and them emotionally connecting with you and being expressive, and also not just emotionally but physically and really establishing this connection as far as emotions and chemistry and attraction go. Okay, so the main challenge is in moving things forward, emotionally connecting and being expressive and opening up, and your love interest opening up as well. And as I said, for singles, it's about emotionally being available and expressive. Core issue of the situation with the Six of Swords, for whether you're single or you're connected to someone, the Six of Swords is about having clarity and moving past a egoic dynamic. For those of you that are in a kind of a tense situation with your love interest, and for those of you that are single, it's just about moving past an egoic energy. And it could be for those who are in a romantic connection as well. But essentially with the Six of Swords, it's about having clarity and being able to get back to just, that zero kind of equanimous state where you can move past that protective, I need to protect my, sense of egoic identity. I need to not be vulnerable. I need to not get hurt. And so I have to be strategic. And, Six of Swords energy contains Five of Swords energy. Five of Swords energy is ruthless energy. At the heart of it, it's not constantly ruthless, but what it means is that someone is, feeling vulnerable and they are playing defense, okay? They're defensive. They are not going to lose. And when I say lose, it's in an egoic way. Feeling, embarrassed, putting themselves out there, feeling vulnerable. They're not going to be taking a leap of faith and, just willy-nilly, being completely available. They're playing it very strategic because they're trying to protect themselves from getting hurt. For others of you, especially those who are in a romantic connection, there very well may be conflict. There may be, you did this to me and you're not doing this and you're supposed to do this. It's getting past that. Again, at the heart of it, that vulnerability and having clarity and getting that kind of self-protectant, egoic energy, out of the way and just being clear and having clarity and moving forward. With the Six of Swords containing the Ace of Swords as well as the Five of Swords energy, the Ace of Swords energy is very similar to Chariot energy because it's just, you're in alignment because you're at zero mentally. You're equanimous, which is Chariot energy of being aligned and having clarity about what you want. And therefore, because you're in such alignment, you're able to have it be successful. So basically, the core issue of the situation, whether single or attached, is getting past that defensiveness, past that feeling of having to protect yourself because you're feeling vulnerable, and just, having clarity and saying yes and moving forward. Now, where you're at, Virgo, whether single or attached, is the Wheel of Fortune and the Star. And as I said, with the Wheel of Fortune, fixed sign may be significant, and with the Star, an Aquarius may be significant. You're wanting things to change. You're wanting, and you're ready for that new chapter in your life, okay, in romantic love. And that doesn't necessarily mean if you are, connected to someone that you're wanting a brand new person. You're ready to, with that person to have things progress and go to the next level and go with the flow. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it means that the two of you are already on, have the momentum and already on that path of things moving forward. You are spiritually in that space of that next chapter, closing out the last chapter and ready to spiritually move forward. Okay. And with the Star energy, it has been, a long time coming. And the Star energy is healing energy. It's hopeful energy. But it's also wish fulfillment. And the reason why is in the Star energy, one experiences a deep healing from many issues, specifically core issues, and they realize who they really are and what they really want. And therefore, because it's so authentic to themselves and they authentically know themselves, that next person that they choose or that path that they choose, whatever it is that person chooses, because it's in such full alignment with who they are, it's going to be successful and it's meant to be, okay? And it's going to work out. So I do feel it's been slow coming. You've been getting to that point of being ready and knowing who you are and knowing what you want. But with the Wheel of Fortune, some of you, single or attached, are actually, consciously like, I'm ready for that next chapter. Others of you, you are not aware of it, but you are spiritually and emotionally ready for that next chapter. But I do feel some of you may be a little bit, trigger shy because you have been healing from a lot of stuff in your life. And when the star shows up, I know that you have gone through a tower moment where there's been upheaval, maybe last month, maybe 5 years ago, but the recovery has been slow. But you have recovered and you are in fact ready. So as I said, whether single or attached, some of you, I feel for the most part, many of you are wanting to be careful. You have been healing and you're trying to make the right choice in this next chapter. However, with the Wheel of Fortune, changes upon you. That last cycle is over. You're healed. You're ready. And, it's time to make a move and time to make a decision. Where your love interest is currently in regards to you. Now, this is whether, it's someone you're interested in or someone who's interested in you that you're unaware of. With the Empress energy, this person thinks they think you're lovely. They think there's a beautiful connection between the two of you. They think it's hot. They think it's like gorgeous, that it has so much potential. Okay, they're not just physically attracted to you. This is like, counterpart energy. They feel that there is something beautiful born between the two of you, love and a very potent connection, but also that it has such great potential to manifest as life partnership, and a beautiful relationship and life partnership, that there's immense potential here. Likely outcome of the situation with the Magician and the Sun, I do feel this is pointing to you, Virgo, single or attached, but it could be technically your love interest energy. But I do feel this month it is about you moving things forward with someone. Someone loves you, thinks you're the bee's knees with the Empress energy. They think that you are the person to build a life with, that you are, that you're all that and a bag of chips, okay, with the Empress energy. However, whether this is about reconciliation, a new partnership, whether you're single and moving things forward, and if you're single, someone definitely wants to, I was just about to make a really cheesy joke. I was about to say wants to mingle, but with the Empress energy, someone definitely has their eye on you and they think you are it and you are the perfect person for them. You're marriage material, you're girlfriend or boyfriend material, you're the right person for them. Now, whether or not you're single, attached, or dealing with reconciliation, with the Magician and the Sun, I do feel you specifically, but technically it could be your love interest. With the Magician, you're open, or they're open to manifesting you as well. And I do feel this is more Virgo energy. You feel there is immense potential here. This is Magician energy, that this could manifest in a multitude of positive ways. However, you're waiting. With the Sun, you're waiting to, have the big picture clarity and feel totally good and ready and not have any kind of, reluctance or any kind of worries about moving this forward. You want to feel totally mentally, emotionally, and spiritually sure before moving this forward, because you want this to work. You want that next chapter to be it, okay? You don't want to deal with any more pain. You've already gone through that. You've done the healing process. You've done the work, and you're ready, right? You don't want to mess that up, okay? You're in a great position. So what you're doing is, and technically this could be your love interest energy, but with the Magician and the Sun, I feel that you're waiting before moving things forward. You know, you have the idea to manifest, but you're not going to actually act on that and, you know, lock that in until with the Sun, all of your concerns and worries have been completely, because Moon energy comes before Sun energy. And I do feel that, you know, there's great potential out there with Ace of Pentacles, but there's worries, insecurities, fears, or doubts about, you know, this situation in love and romance. For the singles, it's about, you know, yeah, I want to be with someone, but I don't want it to be just anyone. I want this next one to be worthy of me, and I want it to stick. I want it to work. For those who are attached, especially dealing with reconciliation, there's worries and fears of, is this going to work? I don't know about that. You know, there's an opportunity here to move this forward, but again, I'm not going to jump off a cliff not knowing that there's a safety net and exactly what we're going to do once we land. What's the plan? Is this going to work out? Is this going to be good for me? Because I'm not going to have a whole nother chapter of upheaval in my life. But I'll tell you the truth, Virgo, with a star, you're ready to do this. I do feel it's, especially for singles, it's time, and the next one is the right one. For those who are attached, this is the right person. Now, please take that with a grain of salt. As I said, see if the reading resonates with you, and also see how your month plays out. But for those of you who this reading is pulling your energy, this is the right person for you. And you're kind of, because of the stuff you've gone through, pushing back, you know, the clock, and you're trying to hold this off because you want to feel 100% happy, sure, and in alignment before manifesting this further, because as I said, you don't want it to not work out and you don't want to get hurt, okay? And for that reason, I do feel with the Six of Swords, you have been playing a little bit strategic and defensive, or your love interest has. Whoever is the one who's kind of holding off and waiting for the doubts and fears to clear up, and to have that, you know, feeling of clarity and happiness and in alignment and feeling good about it. And I'm sure someone's waiting for that feeling before saying yes and moving forward. But with the Six of Swords, again, the core issue is getting past that. It's from vulnerability because of past hurt that someone is playing defensive and strategic, and they need to get past that and have clarity and move this forward. Because I do feel that whether you're single or attached, it's time, you're ready, and the next phase, the next stage in your romantic love life will be the right one for you. Beautiful, beautiful reading, Virgo. Let's pull some oracle cards.